We are live. Welcome to the Dropshot episode 10. My name is Casey, also known as Razanon. I am joined, as always, by my good friend Tanner. Say hello to everyone, Tanner.
Hello, everyone.
And we have the thickest podcast to date today. An absolute bevy of information to go over. And I couldn't be more excited about it. I was almost as excited to do this podcast as I was to play Warzone tonight. Not as excited, which is a testament to how much fun I've been having. And we're going to get into it. But I am very excited to go over all this stuff. We're going to breeze through some announcements. We're going to breeze through some multiplayer related patch notes. I'm not covering the full patch notes for multiplayer because a lot of it is not that important and relevant, and there is once again a ton to talk about with respect to Warzone. So I'm gonna just touch on the important stuff, and then we're just gonna get right into the Warzone talk because there is a ton to cover there. And so I just want to get pretty much right to it. So real quick, a couple announcements. Number one, join the fucking Discord. I restructured my Discord, which was a private server, completely to be a public server. And it has a ton of little sections that are going to be really useful for pretty much anyone who listens to this podcast. We've got a multiplayer section with like a general chat. And then we also have a section where you can look for a squad. So we're asking you to post when you normally play, what game modes you normally play, and you can find people to run with there. We've already had a couple people post in that looking for squad sections. So if you're doing that for multiplayer or for Warzone, because we have a separate Warzone section, then join the Discord, find the multiplayer or Warzone section looking for squad, and find some people to run with. And then, of course, we have a bunch of voice channels for your guys' convenience. You don't need any permissions to use voice. So if you and your friends play COD and you don't have a Discord that you frequent, feel free to join mine. Use it. Use the channels. I don't care. I just want to get all of you guys in here and start building a little bit of a community. I've also got links to literally everything I have. FAQ section. I've got announcements here. So if you wanted to stay up to date on the podcast, the stream, the game, videos I've released, etc., you can find all that stuff there. And lastly, Tanner and I are going to start doing a call-in section of the podcast. We're not going to start today because, like I said, we have a ton to go over. But in the future, we're going to be doing call-ins. So if you're a listener or a viewer who wanted to ask us something live, then hop in the Discord, find the Dropshot category, and then there's a little section called call-in applications. So basically, we just want you to tell us who you are, what platform you play on, how long you've been playing COD, and then what's your question. And then from there, we're just going to drag you into our channel while we're recording, and then you can ask us a question and we can answer it live. And this is going to be cool because it's going to be different than like, oh, what's the best M4 setup? That's not a question we're going to answer because we could answer it in 2 minutes or in like 2 sentences rather. I could just type you that answer. But if you're like, yo, I'm having trouble getting, a chopper gunner when I play gun runner, what should I do? That's a good call-in question. Something like that. Because then I could be like, well, I'm going to have to ask you questions to clarify, and then we can start getting somewhere. So if you wanted to do that, join the Discord. And of course, even if you're not interested in any of that, I do have a suggestions box in the Discord as well for the podcast. So if you thought the podcast was too long, not long enough, if you thought, we should talk about this more, we should talk about this less, in general, how we could improve the podcast, I'm really strongly encouraging you guys join the Discord and give us some suggestions because we are doing this for you guys, obviously, and we want to make this show as good as possible. So if you think of any ways that we could improve it, then literally anything that you would like us to see change to improve the pod, please join the Discord and let us know in the suggestions box. So that's pretty much it. The Discord link can be found on my Twitch channel. There's a big Discord panel. You can find it there. It's also going to be in the show notes for today and ongoing. I'll have the Discord link there. So if you just look in the podcast description for this episode, wherever you're listening to this, literally wherever, YouTube, Facebook, or an audio version, the Discord link will be in the show notes. So please join the Discord. And with that said, the announcements are out of the way. We would appreciate that. And we're going to get into the recent patches. And like I said, we're going to be breezing through the multiplayer stuff. So first thing, the Uzi, they had added a couple attachments and they stealth buffed the attachments that they added. So when they released this patch, they changed. So first of all, they introduced a new ammo type for the Uzi, the 41 AE. It's a higher caliber. Instead of being 25 rounds like it was when it first came out, they've increased that to 32. That's big because this gun does not take a lot of ammunition to kill. And importantly, with this ammo, you get a 3-shot kill up to 30 meters. And this is without like a long barrel or anything. So it's actually really freaking good now. Like really good now. As far as using an SMG at those medium ranges. And then I think they're going to increase the sprint out time soon. So once they do that, so the sprint out time is the same as the other SMGs. If you put this damage range on top of it with this new ammo, it's going to be really strong. And especially when you factor in the new barrel that further increases your damage range, your 3-shot kill damage range is going to be really freaking long. So keep your eyes peeled for the Uzi. Once it gets the sprint out buff, that's when I think you should start trying these attachments. Because with the sprint out buff, it's going to keep all of this damage range and it's going to be super versatile like a striker. And if you've watched my striker video, which can be conveniently found on YouTube, which I've linked for you in the Twitch chat, you can find my description of the striker. And I said it's really good because it has a lot of damage range, but it's still an SMG. Once they buff the Uzi's sprint out time, this is going to be the very same thing. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Hopefully they touch the sprint out for the Uzi soon. In addition, they added search and rescue. Do you know what that is, Tanner?
I have no idea.
So search and rescue, I think, is like a new game mode type that hasn't been in another Call of Duty. And they added this to multiplayer. Haven't played any multiplayer since Warzone launched, so I don't know what that is. They also added Mayhem Mosh Pit, which is a 10v10 playlist. 10v10 grind, drop zone, and cranked. Cranked is the one where you like die after 30 seconds if you don't kill someone. If you kill someone, it resets the timer. Drop zone is the one where care packages are randomly dropped on the map and everyone knows where that is. And then what is grind again, Tanner? Do you know?
I can't even think of what that one is either. We don't ever play any of those.
Yeah, we very seldom, if ever, play those. So I don't know what the grind is. I forget. But anyway, it's a new mosh pit. It's called Mayhem, so grind is probably pretty wild too, because drop zone and cranked are certainly wild. They took out boots on the ground war, which was the infantry ground war mode. So if you were enjoying that, then say bye-bye. It's probably not coming back for a very long time, especially with all the Warzone hype. And then take this next one, Tanner.
New shotgun, VLK Rogue. It's a pump action 12 gauge, has a very fast fire rate. Its one-shot kill range without attachment is just 5 meters. I haven't had time to use it.
I haven't either. So,
I'm sure not many people have it all with Warzone out.
Yeah, so they added this new shotgun. I saw Exclusive Ace do a video on it. Like, you shoot it, you cock it back, but it's like a side cock, so he does it really quickly, and then he shoots again. So it's the fire rate is in between the Origin and the Model 680. So it's faster than the Model, it's slower than the Origin. But To balance those two, it probably has a longer damage range than the Origin, but a shorter damage range than the 680. I haven't used it. I haven't unlocked it yet. I'm working on that. So I'll let you guys know how that is with attachments. It's probably going to be pretty good, but it's no 725. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. You have to get 7 kills in a match 15 times to unlock it. So what's up, Krim? That moment when you get second in plunder and the team who got first was $1 over. Oh my goodness. That's sad, dude. We're going to go over plunder in a little bit. So in private matches, it's weak. It gets an attachment for 4-round mags. Interesting. Yeah. So I'm excited to try that VLK Rogue. So, and then, 2 more things here. A couple more things here. 725 sawed-off barrel got changed. Increased movement speed and ADS spread. So that means it has less damage range, basically, because if it spreads more even while you're ADS'd, that means the damage is obviously spread out more, so your one-shot kill range is lower. Reduced ADS damage, that's good. Reduced far damage range, excuse me, that's very good. So if you have that sawed-off barrel, you're not going to be one-tapping people from 45 meters anymore. That is all very necessary. But what they did do is extend the very lethal close damage range. So basically, this thing is going to more reliably one-shot you when you're super close, but it's going to far less reliably one-shot you when you're not super close. And I think that's a perfect change. This should very reliably one-tap you when you're super close, and it should very unreliably one-tap you when you're far away. So this is a good change to the 725. And everyone uses the sawed-off barrel too, so it's the right attachment to be nerfing and changing. What up, Damascus? Sawed off with slug rounds. That's a huge kappa. All right. So this is important. This is something you guys need to be listening to. They added a main menu item where you can make your mini map square. When you do this, you have about 25% more map coverage with that square mini map as opposed to the default circle. So make it a square. I don't care if you don't like squares. Make it a square. You see way more of the mini map that way, so it's strictly better. So 21% is what I read. Yeah. So it makes it bigger. That's unambiguous. So definitely go into your main menu. The next time you log in, make your mini map a square. It's strictly better. And then lastly, before we get into Warzone, there's some more drops enabled for Twitch streamers. This streamer right here, the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast, does have drops enabled. So if you're watching, then you're already getting in on this. If you watch streamers with drops enabled, there are 3 drops available. If you watch for 1 hour, you get an emblem, 2 hours of double weapon XP if you watch for 2 hours, and then an MP7 weapon variant if you watch for 3 hours. So make sure when you're watching your favorite Call of Duty streamers, that's me, by the way, but if I'm offline, then make sure you look for the drops enabled underneath the player. And if it says that, then you're earning these 3 rewards. So now we're going to get into Warzone.
The exciting part.
The exciting part, yeah.
Boring shit's over.
Boring shit's over, boys. So Warzone. Sorry, I had to take a fat fucking rip on my vape. Okay. So Warzone is the battle royale for Call of Duty. If you're unfamiliar with battle royale, I don't believe you. But also, everyone's in a plane. It's like Fortnite or like PUBG or like H1Z1. So everyone starts in a plane that's flying over a fucking enormous map. And the map is comprised of a bunch of different ground war maps all put together, in addition to other things that are not in the ground war maps. So it's like every ground war map combined plus more. It's a huge map. And that is to support the 150 player lobbies. So it's 150 players. Everyone jumps out of a plane. And then once you land, you parachute in. You have a pistol by default. And then you start running around looking for guns and killing other people. And then there's a bunch of gas that surrounds a big circle that's on your map. As the circle gets smaller, then there's more gas on the map. So you have to be inside the circle. So what that does is it funnels everyone into a consistently smaller and smaller circle. So it forces everyone into this smaller and smaller safe zone that makes you kill everyone else. And then the last team standing wins. Pretty simple. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, are familiar with what a BR is. So there's a bunch of vehicles all throughout. What is different about this BR is that the gas kills you super fast. This is not PUBG. You can't be playing in the gas. It kills you dummy quick. Dummy quick. How fast do you think it kills you, Tanner?
10 to 15 seconds, probably.
Yeah, from full health. Like, you can't be in the gas. You have to be forced in. Do you like that, by the way?
Yeah. Because in other games, yeah, players just camp in the gas and play. That's how PUBG always is. You can survive in the gas for minutes in PUBG.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was never a fan of that. Kind of defeats the whole purpose. So I like it.
I like it a lot too. I agree with that exactly. Because with this, it's like, I don't, exactly like you said, I don't have to worry about getting shot from outside the circle. Like, there's basically no way that's going to happen. So if I know I'm like at the edge of the gas, I'm not going to get shot from somewhere in the gas. There's just no way.
Yeah.
There are gas masks. I believe they provide you with 12 seconds of immunity. And then the mask breaks and your character throws it off. And then you're dead within whatever, 10 seconds or something. So, and I have died in the gas. I learned this the hard way, by the way. I got greedy. I tried to pick up a gun. I was used to PUBG because I played it twice. And I very quickly learned, even with a gas mask, which I had, I could not live long. So, another thing is when you're, when you jump out of the plane, you have a parachute that you can choose when to deploy. You can deploy a parachute and then cut it. So you start falling quickly again and then redeploy a parachute as many times as you want, as far as I know. So that's a good way to like really coast, but also get to wherever you want super quickly. And what I do like about this also is you have a pistol by default. So in most other BRs, you drop on the ground with your fists. I've always thought that was dumb because whoever gets lucky and finds a gun first will just win. In this case, even if you get unlucky and someone else picks up like an M13, you still have a pistol and you could still very like often get the kill, especially if your teammates are with you to help you. Like, you're not defenseless. So I thought that was really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, I like having the pistol by default. Yeah, I'm not a fan of just spawning in and trying to punch players, or you'll run into a building, you won't get a gun, somebody else will grab a shotgun, you'll be dead, game's over.
Yeah, it's like you're racing. There were times, I've seen this a lot, where people will like run into a room and there's one gun on the floor. And it's like, okay, whoever picks up this gun first just wins. But when you have pistols, then you can start shooting each other, or you can make the decision to try and race to the gun. But even if you get to it first, you're not guaranteed to like automatically stomp that guy because he's got a reliable pistol that can kill you within one mag if his aim is on point. So I really like the pistol by default.
You even killed a couple kitted guys yesterday after you respawned, which we'll get to, the gulag. Didn't you kill 2 kitted guys from behind with your pistol? Or at least one.
I killed one, and then I think I weakened the other one, and then you guys came and helped me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you're behind someone, if you just have a pistol and literally nothing else, and they have their full kit, like a fully armored person can die within one pistol mag if you land every shot. And you're close enough, obviously. So that's great. I think that's perfect. But the pistols aren't anyway. So it's also free to play, which surprised me a lot. It surprised me a lot. So what the business model there is they're expecting people to want to play multiplayer if they like how the game feels. And they are also going to be banking on people using the shop to buy operator skins and shit, because whichever operator you have picked will be your operator even in the BR. Are you surprised by this, Tanner?
I didn't expect. I kind of expected it to have not even use the operators. Honestly, I kind of expected like generic operators, you could say, just a different set of them, real basic looking. I was thinking maybe like some slight customization, but I didn't expect the same skins and everything from multiplayer, which I actually like. So
yeah, I think that's really cool. I think that's really cool for sure. If you're behind someone, just execute them. Yeah, the executions are cool too. The cross progression, yeah, we're gonna get to that, Krim. It made me finish 5th on a solo run, Damascus. Damn, that's unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah, so, all right. So currently, it's only trios, which is annoying. So you can choose to queue solo and then be solo, but you're going to be against of other people that are in trios. And you can also queue, so you can queue solo and tell the game to not fill your squad. So you can guarantee you're not in a squad with anyone else. Or duos and then not fill your squad, or you can queue solo or duo and then have the game autofill you for a third or a second and a third. But they're going to be adding more than just trios, but we will get to that a bit later. So you have 100 health, which regens passively, which is exactly the same as multiplayer. The only difference is you can have up to 3 armor plates. So it's just like bonus health. And then in addition to having 3 armor plates like installed, you can also carry 5 spare armor plates in your bag. And it takes probably a second or so to load an armor plate after it's been destroyed or shot up. And what's cool about the armor plates, Tanner really likes this, is that you're only armored on where the armor is. So like the armor plates work on your torso, but if someone's shooting you only in the head, you having armor doesn't matter. So if you're fully armored and I shoot you in the head twice with an Odin at 5 meters, you're going to die in 2 shots. And in multiplayer, you're also going to die in 2 shots because there's no armor. So the damage is exactly the same to the head because it can't be armored. So the armor, so aiming for the head is actually a really good strategy in, what's it called? In this BR.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Crimson says, I think the armor roughly equates to 75 extra health. So that would mean you have a total of what? 150, 225 plus 100. So 325 health. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. So that's a cool system and it's very simple, which is great. Looting for ammo and weapons is also super simplified. You don't have to press the keybind every time. If you just run over the ammo, it automatically goes in your inventory, just like multiplayer, which is absolutely fantastic. And you never have to do inventory management. Like you never run out of space in your backpack. You have enough slots for every ammo type, your guns, and then your kill streaks and all that shit. They have their own like slots. So you never have to do inventory management, which I absolutely love because I'm not trying to manage my inventory. I'm not playing World of Warcraft. I don't want to take 20 minutes trying to decide this shit. So it's super simplified and it's all really streamlined and easy and focused on the fragging, which is exactly how Call of Duty should be. You never had to manage inventory, right, Tanner? I'm not wrong about this, am I?
In what? In Call of Duty?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, everything just has its own slot, so. Crimson says, I wish there was a perk for 3 guns like Pack Mule, so I could have an M4 725 and a Joker. That's a huge kappa. That's going to be a... for me. Yeah. That's the only thing. I wonder if it would make sense if you could carry a 3rd weapon, but you had to equip it instead of switching to it with your switch weapon keybind. Like, let's say I have an M4 and like a, I don't know, an X16. And then in my inventory, I have an HDR. So I can switch my HDR for my M4, but it takes me like 3 seconds. So now when I press my weapon switch keybind, it switches between the HDR and the X16. So I can't just quickly go in my inventory and put my M4 back on. It would take me a while. Would you like that?
I don't know. I think it'd be fine if we just had 2 main guns and then you always had a pistol or whatever too. I think you should always have a pistol if we're talking about that. If you're going to do 3 guns, that's the way I would do it.
Interesting.
Like you'd never use it really, but in like a worst case scenario, you run out of ammo, which happened to us yesterday. We ran out of ammo.
Yeah,
like, at
that's
least you
true.
have something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But anyway, that's not how it works. How it works is you only have 2 weapons. You can't have a weapon in your inventory. Everything I was saying was just hypothetical. But right now, it's just like multiplayer. Like you have 2 weapons. If you press weapon switch, you switch to that weapon. It's not a part of your inventory system. It works just like multiplayer does. So, and then here's an image of the map, which I will show you now. It looks like this. As I was saying, a lot of these are ground war maps. So you have like, I actually don't even know. Like this is Karst River Quarry. I think this is Tovorsk. I think this is, anyway, but all the ground war maps are here and more. So,
except for Anaya. Anaya's not in it, huh?
I don't know if Anaya's in it. You might be right. It might not have Anaya.
Atlas Superstore is in it.
Yeah.
Zokov Boneyard is in.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen all those.
Forest Farm, yeah.
So, anyway, that's that.
Krimes favorite spot to land. We kept landing TV station and Dam. We like both of those. But I mean, we only played, how long did we play actually? 3 hours?
Yeah,
4
like 3 hours or so.
But we like Dam and TV station so far. We haven't ventured out much, so.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we haven't played it a ton, but we've been having a ton of fun, but we're going to get into that. Damascus says, I just run M4 and pistol and upgrade pistol slot to in-game weapons so I don't have to run overkill. That's exactly what I was telling Tanner. I think that's exactly the right play, Damascus, but we're going to get into that. I just want to get through like what everything is about first. So there is a gulag respawn system. So basically what happens is, there's a down system and then there's a dead system. So if you shoot me, all my armor's gone and then all my health is gone, I go downed. And once I'm downed, I have probably 100 more health. I can't shoot at all. I can only crawl. I'm in like the last stand position from old Call of Duties, except I don't have a pistol. I can't shoot anything. And then you slowly bleed out and die if you don't get revived by your teammate. And reviving takes a while, probably 3 to 5 seconds. I would say something in between those. And then if you die, you don't just die. You go to the gulag. And the gulag is this like prison where everyone who's died is at. And what happens is you do a 1v1 gunfight with a random weapon in gulag showers. It's similar to gulag showers. It's not exactly the same, which annoyed me, but it's similar. So you spawn with, just like gunfight, you spawn with your random weapon, they spawn with theirs. And then if you win that gulag gunfight, you get to drop, you redeploy, you automatically drop right next to your teammates, which is crazy. It's really cool. You lose all your stuff, so you spawn in with just the pistol. But if your team is by like a loadout drop, you can just use that and then you're like right back in the game. But you've lost all your money and you've lost all your stuff. So it's not great, but it can work effectively. But if you die again after winning a gulag 1v1, then you're just dead. And you can be bought back by your teammates, but we're going to get into that. So the currency system is called cash. It's got a $, the petrodollar, establishing and maintaining United States hegemony all around the world, literally and digitally. You spawn with a small amount of this cash, and you can also loot it from random spots, as well as if you kill other people, you'll take their cash along with all their stuff, etc. And interestingly, you can pool cash like Bernie Sanders to buy shit. So if I want to buy, you know, a UAV and each of my teammates has $1,500, then we all drop it. I pick it up. I now have a total of $4,500, and then I can buy that UAV. So that's pretty cool. You can like share the cash. Off first impressions, Crimson Ninja asks, are there any kill streaks that seem immediately OP? I think UAV is the best one. I don't think any of the streaks have seemed OP though. Especially because when you get clustered, it tells you it's coming. And when you get precision, you can hear it for quite a while. I've never even been tagged by a kill streak. I feel like that would be really good at the very, very end game, but that's the only time it would really do anything, in my opinion.
Precision, I think, would be good, but I thought... See, we've never had streaks like that in game.
I've used the
I
cluster.
want to say in the last circle or two, you can't use kill streaks. Isn't that a thing? Can anyone confirm that?
I don't remember that. I thought when Crichton and I got
swear
third.
I read that somewhere.
I thought when we got third, someone called the cluster.
Kill streak. Really? Okay.
Interesting. If it can't be used in the last circles, then I would say they're almost completely fucking pointless. But if someone in chat can confirm that, that would be great. But anyway, so with the cash, here's the buy station. I've got it on screen now. So you can buy an armor plate bundle. That's that armor I was telling you about that you can load into your outfit to increase your health. If you spend $1,500, you get 5 armor plates. So 3 would go in your body, and then you'd have 2 left over, assuming you were out of armor. You can buy a shield turret, which is a kill streak. I can't imagine. Dude, shield turret might be good on the last circle too, if you have time to set it up.
I had no idea the armor plate gave you 5. I thought it was 1 for 1,500. That's why I was saying it was a waste last night.
Wow. Okay, well, you're an idiot.
Completely have changed my view. I didn't even look at it before, because I'm like, why the fuck would I buy an armor plate? I'm snapping on kids left and right. I don't need to buy armor. I'll just grab theirs.
Well, it says bundle, which implies it's more than one plate, right?
Yeah. I didn't even read it. I didn't even read it.
Oh, we'll keep that in mind.
So yeah, keep that in mind.
What's up, Crichton? How's it going? Crichton 1. Let's start the podcast. Hell yeah, dude.
Crichton, by the way. Yeah.
Thanks for the follow, King. What happened to your account, Crichton? Weird. Oh, it does say precision airstriking coming. So precision does the same thing where it tells you it's coming. That's why I don't think it's... I don't know. We played for a couple hours. We played quite a few games. I never once had a problem with the kill streak. The only thing that it did was it once made us move. That was it. I feel like, again, it could be good late game, but like until then, it's fucking useless. So anyway, cluster strike, gas mask, which gives you, again, I think 12 seconds of immunity in the gas. That can be helpful, but you can also pick up you can pick up all of this stuff just randomly around the map. You're just not super likely to find much of it, depending on how good it is. But we never bought a gas mask, and most of the games, we all ended up having gas masks by the end of the game. So I would never buy a gas mask, but if you see one, pick it up and you automatically equip it. So that's awesome. So Crichton says, I had a problem with the kill streak called Razanon failure to launch every game last night. They really need to take a look at that one. That's a huge kappa.
Damn. And
let's not talk about your helicopter piloting skills.
Oh,
because
hey, just drop us your money.
Just give us your money so we could buy UAVs. Because if we were going to do a podcast on your helicopter driving skills, it would be 3 hours long. So just keep that in mind. I
gotta take a bathroom break. Be right back.
Okay. So you can also buy precision airstrike. You can buy UAV. This is like the best thing in the game. And we have some secrets to share about the UAV. So that's been super helpful. Oh yeah, I don't think you could find the drop markers either, Krim. Yeah, I think you're right. And then let's see, a self-revive kit you can buy. So if you get downed but not killed, so if you're only downed and then you're able to like get behind cover, you can use this self-revive kit to revive yourself, obviously. And then a munitions box, which is just like multiplayer. You pick up ammo and equipment from it. So you'll get some ammo. You will get, I think it's like 1.5 magazines worth of ammo. So whatever your magazine is, 1.5 times that. I think, I'm not sure though. And then you get like a lethal equipment and a tactical equipment. So like a stim shot and a frag, all from the munitions box. And then your whole squad can do that too. So it's a nice little restock, the munitions box. And then lastly, the loadout drop marker. So this is the most expensive of all the things you can buy. And this has been our strategy from playing it once. You basically spend $6,000. You get this care package marker and it drops a care package. Your entire team goes up to it and can use it. And it brings up all your custom classes. So you can pick a custom class once you use this loadout care package drop. All three of you. You only need to buy one. So what I would advise you do is make a Warzone specific custom class and then get this loadout drop marker and get that. Because this is insane. It's by far and away the best thing you can buy with this thing. And importantly, this is the only way to get perks in Warzone. You can't pick up perks as far as I know. We never saw one. I don't think you can pick up a perk. So you won't have any perks, but if you're able to use the loadout drop marker, you'll have 3 perks. Now the perks work differently, some of them, in Warzone as compared to multiplayer, but almost all of them, actually all of them do something. So it's really good because you get your exact weapon with all your attachments, your exact equipment, your exact tacticals, but you also get perks. There's no other way to get perks. So this is super fucking strong. Yes, I am going to mention that, Grim. So here we have, so if a perk is not listed here, that means it works the same way in multiplayer as it does in Warzone. I've conjured up some images of perks that work differently in Warzone than they do in multiplayer. So first we have kill chain. Kill chain increases your chance of finding kill streaks in supply boxes by, I think, 25%. So like I was saying, when you drop in, there's just random like supply boxes that are strewn about the map and they make noise. So you can hear them like glowing. And then when you open the supply box, there's ammo, weapons, kill streaks, gas masks, random shit. If you have kill chain as one of your perks for your loadout, then every time you open one of these supply boxes, you have a greater chance of finding a kill streak in there. So instead of having to buy one, you just get lucky and pick one up from these supply boxes. So that's always good. Damascus says, I think one person in a group should use kill chain because I was looting streaks in chests faster than I can use them and would randomly use clusters to attempt to get blind kills. That is super interesting. I'm going to keep that in mind.
We'll test that for sure.
Yeah, we will test that for sure. All right, so I want to make a note here and then go over that later. So, okay, so that's how that works. Restock, you recharge equipment over 50 seconds rather than 25 seconds. This is pretty goddamn good too. Especially if you're running like tactical, like a stim. Like you'll always have stims on deck. I think that's awesome. So it just increases the timer that it takes to recharge, but it's basically the same as multiplayer. Hardline, 25% off kiosk prices for kill streaks, field upgrades, and armor plates. So you don't get a price discount on your loadout drop, which wouldn't matter anyway because you don't have hardline until you pick up a loadout drop anyway. So I guess that kind of makes sense. So it's basically 25% off all of the shit that you can buy from these little kiosks. And you buy these, by the way, I'm sorry. Everything I was saying that you can buy with cash, there's a bunch of like little shops that are all strewn about the map. And you can see where these are on your map. So you can open a map on PC. By default, you press M and you can see where like a bunch of shit is. One of those is the shop where you can buy all that stuff. And it is like a shopping cart icon. So keep that in mind. Let's see here. Point man. All members of your team earn more money from completed missions. So there are missions you can do while in the war zone, and we're going to get into those. And they reward you a variety of things. including money. And if you have point man, it earns you more money. I wonder how much more money that would be and if it would be worth it. So that's something to think about. And then tune up reduces your revive time by 25%. I don't know if this means you revive your teammates faster or if you become revived faster. But this does not.
I guess you revive your teammates faster.
That's what I would think, yeah. This doesn't seem worth it, though. 25% of like 5 seconds or 3 seconds, yeah. It doesn't seem worth it. Because if that's going to make the difference, then you probably shouldn't be reviving in that time anyway.
Exactly. Usually you kill everybody, or you try to get in a spot and hide while you revive. You're not going to revive in the open and when getting shot at unless you're an idiot. So
yeah. So don't run tune up is what we're saying. And then that's it for that. So let's see here. This is cool. And Crimson mentioned this earlier in the Twitch chat. Leveling and progression is shared with multiplayer. So if I'm playing Warzone games and I'm getting XP and leveling up, that is the same exact leveling system, like what I'm doing with my hands, as multiplayer's is. So I'm level 155 in multiplayer. I'm also level 155 in Warzone, vice versa. So that's cool. And then like the missions and shit are shared too. So this is part of the reason they made this free to play. People are going to be like level 155 and then they'll be like, you know what, dude, if I buy multiplayer, I'll already have all the guns. I won't have to unlock them. I'll already have all the perks. Fuck it. I'm just going to buy multiplayer. Smart system by Infinity Ward. And good for us too. Because I like that it's shared. I'd argue Hardline and Warzone pales in comparison to Point Man. I wonder if Point Man stacks. That's another good fucking question. Because if Point Man is like a multiplicative effect, which it certainly must be, I wonder if it's multiplicative between point mans. So if we all run point man, instead of getting 25% each for 75%, it becomes 25% of 1.25 and then 25% of 1.5. Interesting. It wouldn't be 1.5. You get what I'm saying though. That's interesting. That's something to look into for sure. And then there are also Call of Duty contracts. So the contracts, they look like this on the map. Like in this example, you see the contract scavenger. So there's 3 different types of contracts. One of them is scavenger. We're not going to go super in depth here, but basically you find this on the mini map and then you go up to the contract thing and you can only have one contract active at a time. So be careful which one you pick up. But if you pick up a scavenger one, then you pick it up and you have 5 minutes to go to another spot on the mini map, and it leads you directly to a supply box. So this is good because the contract gives you money for completing it. But in the case of scavenger, it's also leading you to supply boxes on top of the money reward from the contract itself. So this is a really good way to loot and get you a lot of money at the same time. And then you're also rewarded with a gas mask in this example of this scavenger mission. So that's one contract. There's another one called Bounty. So if you pick up this contract, it puts a bounty on a random enemy player, on the map. And it shows you roughly where they are. So like a big circle where they could be. As you get closer to the circle gets smaller and smaller. And you only have like 3 to 5 minutes to complete the bounty. If you kill the guy that you have the bounty on, you get bonus money. And if you kill the people who are bounty hunting you, you also get bonus money. And when you have a bounty placed on you, you're told about it. You're like, oh, you're being hunted. Your bounty's active for 2 more minutes or whatever. So that's another way to get bonus money. That's another contract. And then the last contract is the Recon Contract. So you pick it up and then you have to go to some location and cap a flag. So you imagine it's like a domination flag. Once you pick up the Recon Contract, you see a domination flag. You have 5 minutes or 3 minutes to get over there and cap the flag. And then if you do, you get money. So contracts are really good to do, especially in the early game, to get you a bunch of money. And then once you have a bunch of money, you find an item shop or a kiosk, and then you start buying shit. And we're going to go into strategies at the end, but we just want to go through all the details here first. Another way to get bonus money, ask Crichton because he's the money man. Hell yeah, dude.
Dude, Crichton was literally just throwing wads of cash.
He was just throwing stacks, dude. He was like Juicy J in
like,
the club.
Nah, just take it.
Yeah,
just take it.
Yeah.
He's fucking
he was just tossing us dollar bills, so that was fantastic. Bernie Sanders' wet dream right there. So let's just keep that in mind.
Giving everyone money, yeah.
Something to mention about the bounty, Crimson says. If you're the one being tracked, you have an indicator on the left side that gives you a rough idea of how close a person is, and this is called the threat level. Did not notice that. That's interesting. So the higher that threat level meter goes, then you know whoever's bounty hunting you is closer and closer. Very cool. Very.
That's why those dudes were in that building we were going after.
Went upstairs.
Because they knew we were getting closer. They were like, dude, they were held up in that building defending their buddy.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, we killed them. You died, but yeah, I killed them all. Me and yeah.
I'll keep that in mind. So, one piece of advice in general, I would stay away from bounties. It's not worth it. Unless you have like a bunch, your whole loadout, and you pick up a bounty, or like there's no other contracts around, so fuck it, you might as well. It can be used to give you intel on where at least one enemy squad is, which is interesting, and you could use it just as an intel gathering thing, even if you don't plan on chasing that bounty. But then you also can't pick up another contract for that entire time. So cost-benefit analysis there. But in general, I think staying away from bounties in the early game until you're kitted is a good strategy. So this is something I bet you haven't heard, Tanner. Super interesting. Super interesting. If your entire team uses UAV at the same time, in other words, if your squad has 3 UAVs up, it works as an advanced UAV for every single enemy on the map. So advanced UAV in this game, it's like a regular UAV, except it doesn't take ticks, it's constant, and it shows the direction players are facing. If they have ghost, then it still shows them, it just doesn't show which direction they're facing. That is insane. This wasn't mentioned or anything, but some random idiot team decided to waste their UAVs, and they happened to stumble upon the fact that it becomes an advanced UAV when all 3 are up at the same time. Is it worth it?
No.
There's no way, right?
It's still only 30 seconds. Unless it's like you're almost in the end game.
Yeah, I think it is 30 seconds.
No, it's just 30 seconds,
yeah. Because it's not technically an advanced UAV. End game, it would be worth it, but I feel like we're not going to all be sitting on UAV by the time the end game comes, you know? Anyway, that's something to keep in mind. If you all have UAV, you can all call them and get an advanced, which is super good. And no one can hide from an advanced. Because so even if a whole squad has ghost, if you call 3 UAVs, you will at least get their dots on the map. So that is super interesting to know. That is super interesting to know. So something to keep in mind real quick, by the way, about kill streaks. You can only carry 1 kill streak at a time. So if you pick up another kill streak, it'll drop the kill streak you had on the ground, so it doesn't just disappear. So then you could like have your teammate come pick it up for you. But you can each only hold 1 kill streak. That's part of the reason that I think this is a waste. If you could stack kill streaks and just buy a ton because you guys have $20,000, then I would say this is fantastic. But since you can only each carry 1 UAV, that means everyone uses all their kill streaks at the same time. That's why I feel like this would largely be a waste. But that's something good to know for sure. And then that's it for Warzone. But they did introduce a second mode in the Warzone vein called Plunder. Tanner and I have not played Plunder yet. And it's similar to Warzone, but it's different. I'm going to read from charlieintel.com here. Here's how the mode works. The objective of Plunder is to go around the map and find as much cash as possible to accumulate a total of $1 million in cash. Now you might be thinking, I've never gotten even $100,000 in Warzone. How the hell am I going to get $1 million? Well, there's a lot higher amount of money, and there's just way more cash floating about in this plunder game mode. So plunder has a 30-minute timer for players to reach 1 million. When a team gets 1 million, an overtime phase is triggered, and then the team that deposited the 1 million in cash... Wait. Okay, I'm just going to read this verbatim. Plunder has a 30-minute timer for players to reach $1 million in cash. When a team reaches $1 million in cash secured, an overtime phase is triggered in the mode. The team that deposited the $1 million in cash has their $1 million secured. During this overtime phase, the amount of cash you find is doubled. The team with the most cash when the time ends wins the match. Okay, that kind of makes sense. If no one reaches $1 million by the 30-minute mark, then the team with the most money wins. A very important aspect for this mode is that respawn is fully enabled. If you die, there's a 15-second timer, and once that's up, you get sent back to redeploy onto the map to get back into the action. There is no gulag in this mode. So it's not like Warzone where if everyone dies, you lose. There is a respawn. So, in addition, players have their own create a class loadouts to use in plunder mode. You spawn back in with your create a class loadout in this mode, so you don't have to worry about looting really at all. Players also drop their cash when they die. That's what encourages the Call of Duty aspect, which is killing people. So there's a certain amount of cash you'll drop when you die. So if you have too much on you, it's a risk to stay in the open. But players can secure their cash and deposit them in one of two ways. The first is with a helicopter pad that is marked. At these pads, you run up to them, press a button, and wait for a chopper to arrive. And then the chopper comes and takes your cash. This was inspired by the CIA dark money operation that they've done in Arkansas, where they killed those 2 kids on the train tracks. What were those kids' names? Bill Clinton was the governor. Look it up, Twitch chat. Alex Jones. He just got fake news arrested for a DUI. And he made black helicopters. George Soros is making the frogs gay. Look this up, dude. Arkansas. When Bill Clinton was the governor, they were flying in planes of cocaine in some random fucking backwoods city in Arkansas. And obviously Bill Clinton was covering for whoever was doing this. I don't have all the details. I don't have the documents. This isn't Infowars.com, and I'm not Alex Jones. So I don't have all the information. But look into it, as Eddie Bravo would say. And they eventually killed 2 kids because the 2 kids were out there and they happened to accidentally find the plane landing. So then the guys killed them and then tied them to the train tracks. And then the train ran them over. So then the official cause of death was that they smoked weed and then fell asleep on the train tracks. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've never fallen asleep on fucking train tracks after smoking a blunt. It's never happened. So this is obviously a cover-up that was headed by Governor of Arkansas, Bill Clinton, soon to be President of the United States of America. So keep that in mind. Anyway, that's what inspired the plunder game mode. That's what I'm trying to say.
Is this JRE or is this a Dropshot?
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what
we did get a review saying we were better than JRE, so that's true.
We did get a review saying we were better than JRE. And if you wanted to read that review and maybe write one yourself while you're there, then go to iTunes, go to the ratings and reviews section, smash the 5 stars button, right? And then you can read the reviews, and then you can write one of your own. And it should be a glowing review. And you can say, today I learned that Bill Clinton, when he was the governor of Arkansas, covered up his drug ring, government-sponsored CIA cocaine smuggling plot that resulted in the murder of 2 innocent young boys. That can be in your review. So keep that in mind. The second way is through deposit balloons that can be found at certain buy stations throughout the map that you have to use the cash to buy. But there's a catch with these portable deposits. It can only deposit up to 150,000. So if you had a ton of money and you wanted to deposit it, you would use the helicopter pads. But if you only have a small amount, you could use the little balloons, and then it'll take some up. So there's definitely some strategy there. And that is pretty much it for the plunders mode. Like I said, Tanner and I haven't played it yet, so I can't give you like any strategy or talk about it too in depth. But what was I going to say? But we're going to play it soon. And we've actually heard a lot of people saying that they like Plunder more than Warzone. What is your what have you heard, Tanner, about Plunder compared to Warzone, if anything?
I've heard two things. One person said, I think it was the Gaming Revolution, though, which he just complains about everything, but I'm pretty sure he said Plunder is the worst game mode ever put in a video game. Wow. But then I definitely saw way more people saying that they thought Plunder was better than Warzone. Like the positives I was seeing from Plunder, they were all saying they liked it better than Warzone.
Interesting.
I don't have any want to play it for a while.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm like so hard about Warzone that I don't really want to play Plunder for a while, but I'm definitely eventually going to play it, and I'll probably do that this weekend. So keep that right the fuck in mind. Interestingly, dude, recently a dev confirmed that there is no skill-based matchmaking in Warzone or Plunder. They said like there's no skill-based matchmaking in large-scale game modes in Call of Duty. Now, for all my critical thinkers out there, what does that mean? What was said that wasn't said?
Man, fuck. That means there's skill-based matchmaking in smaller game modes.
Yes,
Holy shit.
Tanner figured it out, dude. Tanner's Call of Duty red pilled. So this was confirmation that there is skill-based matchmaking in 6s and 10s. We all knew that, but it's nice to get official confirmation. It's no longer a conspiracy theory. It is 100% confirmed. If there was no skill-based matchmaking at all, then the dev statement would be, oh, there's no skill-based matchmaking in Warzone or Plunder or any other game mode in Call of Duty. But they made sure to say, no, there's no skill-based matchmaking in these two specific modes, which obviously implies that there is skill-based matchmaking in 6s and 10s. So keep that in mind. You can find the statement and you can show it to all your friends who don't believe you. There is skill-based matchmaking, which makes the other conspiracy theory that certain YouTubers reverse boost to get their gameplay on their YouTube videos a lot more credible theories, such as
Korean Savage.
All right, so just keep that in mind. So that pretty much covers it for recent patches and in the Warzone. So we're going to get into our own opinions on this at the end, but we want to go over a couple news items real quickly. First of all, they have said Warzone will be increased from 150 to 200 players eventually. So right now a game will start with as few as like 120 or 130. So what that means is this is just good because now it's like a lobby will start whether there's 130 people or 200 people in it. So we just now have, they're going to increase the cap slightly. I can't imagine 200 is going to feel much different than 150. What do you think, Tanner?
There's already too many fucking players with a respawn. I don't even want 200. There's like no...
I don't feel like there's too many players.
Well, okay, when it gets to endgame...
The map is so big,
you haven't played other BRs.
Dude.
Yeah, but you haven't played other BRs. Like when you get to endgame, those last few circles, there's like 15 players usually. This game, there's 60.
No, dude, when we got third, there were like... Well, there were 3 other teams because we killed one team. Well, there were 2 other teams. We killed one team, and then I single-handedly killed the other team because I'm a demon on the keys. And then we got pinched by the last 2 teams. I don't think there are too many. And the gas kills people so fast that, like, you can't fuck around in the gas. I think that would be more of a problem if the gas killed slowly like PUBG, because then people could gas camp, and then with the final ring, there would be a ton of teams alive. But because the gas is so lethal, I think this amount of players is fine. Especially with, what was I going to say? I'm not sure what I was going to say. Oh, especially with how big the map is, too. So, that's cool. Also, they're going to make footsteps louder in Warzone. So, they've heard concerns that the footsteps are a little too quiet in Warzone. So now we have to go through this fucking horseshit again of everyone complaining about the footstep volume. So they're going to make it louder in Warzone. Hopefully this doesn't translate to, what's it called? Multiplayer. I hope they don't touch multiplayer footsteps. They're perfect where they are. So
I don't think they will.
Well, you know, it's funny. Common sense would dictate that, but we are dealing with Infinity Ward here. So this I thought was an interesting note. If you've been listening to the podcast, specifically the episode titled YouTube Making Moves, I made some pronouncements that Google is going to become a big player in the gaming space, and Google owns YouTube, and YouTube has this exclusivity for live streaming Call of Duty events on it. And here's more news to that effect to support my thesis. Activision Blizzard announces Google executive Daniel Alegre as the new president and COO, which I think is Chief Operations Officer. It's like a high-level executive. Anything with a C at the start and the O at the end is big bucks guy. So this is just further confirmation that Google is making serious plays in the live streaming gaming market. So I just wanted to point that out. I don't know anything about Daniel Alegre other than the fact that he worked for Google, or maybe still does. I don't know if he would hold two positions at the same time, but that's just something to keep in mind. He certainly has strong ties to them. And then the last news item before we get into our opinions and analysis is some CDL events are likely going to be canceled due to COVID-19, also known as the coronavirus. So the NBA is on hiatus. Milan is in a state of pandemic. What else got canceled? South by Southwest got canceled. E3 got canceled. And CDL is likely to follow suit. As you guys may or may not know, the CDL events are done on LAN, which means all the teams gather at a central location along with announcers and audience members to compete for the Call of Duty League, and they're very likely going to start canceling those because of the coronavirus. And TwitchCon also got canceled. Yes. So keep that right the fuck in mind. Anything to say about any of that?
Coachella and Stagecoach too, they got pushed back.
Okay, well, no one cares about Stagecoach, right?
Well, in Southern California, all these idiots here do, so yeah.
Yeah, my cousin actually really likes Stagecoach. She's a nice girl.
She's not, but
okay, yeah, well, she lives in the country, so okay, interesting. Anything else to say about any of this stuff, Tanner?
No, I wanted to who is it that said it?
Yeah, let's catch up on the chat here. Go ahead, Tanner. What do you have to say?
Damascus Impaler said, will there be a night vision mode to Warzone? Prim also said night Warzone would be interesting. Wrong. I feel like they'll add that shit. Okay, it won't be interesting to us, but listen, they how many downloads they have first day? 6 million? 6 million downloads very first day. There's a huge player base, so they have the players to do war or game modes like that.
That's a good point.
Similar to Ground War, you know, realism Ground War. They'll probably end up doing things like that. I just wouldn't expect it for minimum 1 month at the absolute minimum. It'd probably be a thing 2 or 3 months out. Also, where is it? Krim was saying something about Plunder.
Let me catch up here. 4-man teams when it goes to 200. Yeah, that would be interesting too. Yeah, 200 with 3-man teams might be too many squads, not necessarily too many people. That's a good point. That's what you're implying when you say 4-man teams, and I agree with you. At least that's what I think you're implying. Because if you have 200 people, but there are fewer squads overall, I think that would actually not be a problem at all. We have some disagreement about the gulag system. We're going to get into that. Crichton, who we played with last night, by the way, who came in and clutch res you to proceed to end game, though. That was you. I'll give you that. You fucking beamed some dude behind me, too. I was looking at you, and you were just shooting over me. And then I turn around, and the guy's dead. And then I was just getting res, dude. That was clutch. So I'll take that. Touche. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, Tanner and I carrying you last night. Definitely fake news there, and never getting credit where credit is due. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, I would hate a night vision mode, but Tanner is right. There weren't 6 million downloads. There were 6 million players playing Warzone. They had to correct the statement, but still, that's a fuck ton of players playing Warzone. So if they did add a night vision mode, I would never fucking play it. I might play it. I probably wouldn't play it, but it wouldn't affect me at all because the player base wouldn't like become too small in regular Warzone. So. Let me see. I'm just catching up here. NHL soon to be there as well. Yeah, the coronavirus doesn't care about the cold, so NHL would be unsafe. And then a bunch of other shit. Trash talk about Dallas Empire from Damascus and Paler.
Damn.
That's crazy. And then stocks are down. Yeah, so the coronavirus is a whole fucking shit show that I could do a whole nother podcast on as an expert in epidemiological diseases. So...
Sorry.
We're gonna save that for next time though. And let's see. Okay, so let's get into some analysis here. How are you liking Warzone, Tanner?
Okay, so I thought it was fun. I already noticed though at the end of the night I was kind of, I wouldn't say getting bored, it kind of felt like it had no purpose. The challenges are dumb. They need like a ribbon system for it. It needs a whole separate ranking system, I think. I think they need like a tier ranking system, basically, you know, like your bronze, your silver, your gold, your platinum, you know,
so
based on your
ranking system.
I want a whole fucking thing. I don't want it.
But you mean a competitive ranking system, not just
I mean, you can call it
thing.
that. You could call it that, yeah.
Okay, well, it's not about what I call it. I'm asking you. Like, you can get bumped down to bronze if you place last.
Yes.
Interesting.
I think that would be fun.
Okay. Do you think they would add it?
No, not a chance in hell.
Okay. How funny would it be if there was a ranking system for Warzone before multiplayer? Like there's skill-based matchmaking. Imagine a world where there's skill-based matchmaking for pub matches in regular ass 6v6 domination with your grandma, right? But there's a ranking system in the free-to-play game Warzone. Can you imagine how fucking dumb that would be?
Yeah, that'd be fucking terrible. Another thing, let's just talk about this now. They need to change it, and I think they will, like within a week. Loadout drops need to cost substantially more. I think they can either do it two ways and I'd be happy. One, loadout drops need to cost 15,000.
That's
and you can get
a lot.
No. Okay. No.
Okay.
So 15,000 and your whole team can get it if they're doing it that way. Otherwise, I think they need to change it to you call in a loadout. You're the only person that gets to use it, and I think it should cost maybe about the same 6, possibly, probably like 8,000. Because listen, this is why you're liking the game. If this was a true BR like the other ones, you would hate it. You would be running around with random guns, but that's kind of the fun in it. Right now, this is what I kept seeing on Reddit. Everyone was like, this is just a bigger version of Ground War. Everyone within 5 minutes of landing has their full kit, and then it's just a death match at that point. It's fun when you have to play with these shit guns, shit attachments, weird setups. That's the fun in it. So I don't like the whole loadout thing. It needs to be way more expensive, and I saw a lot of people complaining about that. That is
an interesting perspective, and you've actually kind of convinced me. I tend to agree with you. What I was going to say is I agree it does need to be more expensive, but what I was going to say is it needs to be more expensive because it's the only way to get perks. Like you spend $6,000 for 3 perks, except there's no other way to get perks. You can't get lucky and pick up a perk. You can't pick up a perk off someone's dead body. So not only are you getting your exact ideal attachments for all your guns and your ideal equipment, but you're also going to have 3 perks. And otherwise, there is no other way you'd have perks. You'd have 0. And the perks in this game, excuse me, are super strong. So to spend $6,000 when a UAV is $4,000, so spend $2,000 extra dollars, and now you get 3 perks that last forever, and you get your ideal gun setups. That does seem crazy overpowered and underpriced. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Do you think perks should be able to be picked up though? Because here's
I don't see why not. Yeah, like in the rare crates.
Maybe really? I don't like it because it's too much clutter, dude. There's too much shit on the ground.
Yeah.
Like there's too much shit on the ground. I don't want this to turn into fucking PUBG where it's like takes me 45 minutes to sort through someone's backpack. It's like, just give me the gun. Let's go. Like, let's go, you know?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I like perks being in the battle royale at all. Or if they're going to do perks, I feel like you should pick perks and you just always have them. Because that would also make the loadout drop way less impactful. Because then everyone has perks. And when you get your loadout drop, it's really only picking up 2 guns where you've customized attachments.
Oh, the other thing is there are far too few of weapon. The weapon variety is horrible right now, and I'm sure they know that. There's like 3 guns that spawn. It's like an FAL, a Car 98, and an MP7. Oh, and of course the MG34. Like that's all you ever see.
Dude,
so obviously something's bugged with that or
MG34s
something.
in one room.
That's how. Yeah, that's the only gun that's always there.
Yeah.
That needs to be changed
for sure. For sure.
Hold on. Well, we're still kind of on that topic. Let's catch up on chat here.
Yeah, let's catch up on chat. Go ahead.
Yeah, Krim kind of agreed with me. He said it needs to be at least double. Crichton, the money man, said 15K is pocket change, easy money, baby. Yeah. Okay. Immortus Sky kind of agrees with me. Of course, everyone agrees with me because I'm just a fucking god. So.
Damascus says if all 3 players on a team use precision at the same time, you get a gunship. Can you imagine? Dude, it's like someone just like your precisions just like leave and then someone just calls in a gunship. That'd be so dumb.
Then Immortus said, or maybe
oh, hi Trixie.
Just let you get the loadout, but the perks don't come with it. That's another thing. Yeah, I think so. They need to do 3 things. They need to make it cost more than double for your whole team to use it.
Well, it depends on how they change it, but go ahead.
They need to make it cost 2,000 to 4,000 more, and only you can use it, or they need to just remove the loadout drop. I would honestly, I think, have more fun if they removed it and have the fun of the random guns.
Okay, so there are a lot of things you can do with this loadout drop, in my opinion. You can make it way fucking more expensive. You can keep it about the same price, but only let 1 player use it. You can have it not provide perks. You can have it so, or you can take it out. I kind of like all these ideas. I think they're all better than the current one. But what I would like best is you create a Warzone class. And the Warzone class is you pick a pistol, any pistol, and you can't put attachments on it. So you can put your camos and your stickers and your charms, but it's just a stock pistol. So you can get an X16, 0 attachments, M19, the Magnum, the Deagle, etc. And then you also pick 3 perks. And then that you always have that. So whenever you drop in first, you have your 3 perks, you have your pistol with 0 attachments when you drop in. And now when you do buy this loadout, you're getting guns, but you're not also getting the benefit of having 3 perks where no one else has any perks. I think that would but see, Tanner, you dumb bitch. You persuaded me with your argument about the fun of a BR is like being forced to use whatever bullshit you can find. And then you're like, oh dude, I found an M4. Fuck yeah. Like that never
Exactly.
happens. That never happens. And it would force people to be good with a variety of weapons to consistently do well in Warzone. And it would make killing other people more meaningful, because now you have 6 more guns to choose from, and it's likely that one of those 6 guns is going to be more preferable to the gun you're using.
Yeah. I mean, even we figured it out within a few hours. What did we do? We just looked for money, hardly picked up guns, got together, just scrapped together 6,000.
Yeah, communist
just fucking
style.
got our loadout drops. And what am I using? A
Call me
Damascus
Bernie.
M4 because I'm a piece of shit. What else would I use if I can pick a gun?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So figure it out. I don't like it. I
That's
don't want to be
interesting.
there at all.
Has there been any dev response? Let's look into this, dude. Let's go. I'm going to consult the Trello board, which I've conveniently bookmarked for the purposes of this podcast, the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast, the fastest growing podcast in gaming. Rate the fucking podcast on iTunes 5 stars. Thank you. Let's see.
I'm going to scroll through chat here and look for things where you find that.
Okay.
Crichton MG34 fucking everywhere. Yeah. Damn, somebody in the chat called you babe, so there's that.
Oh, we'll keep that in mind.
The Mortis guy, yeah, called you babe.
Yeah, these are just issues. They're not like perspective changes. So I'm going to bookmark
Yeah,
this.
see, Leloy gets it.
strategy
The fun
guide.
of BR is the RNG. That's the point of it. That's exactly the point of it.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I didn't even think about that because I love my fucking custom classes so much. But I do think you lose. I don't agree with you that you lose all of the point of a BR. This definitely still feels like a BR, even though I'm only using my Damascus PKM and my Damascus Striker. It definitely feels different than Ground War 2, but they were using hyperbole to illustrate a point, which I kind of agree with. A lot of the BR elements are lost because, yeah, our strategy toward the end, so we can tell you guys what we were doing. So just some background for me. I've played almost no BRs. I've played like 5 matches of PUBG. I've played half of a match of Fortnite. Literally, I played half a match. And I was like, oh, fuck this building bullshit. I'm done. And I uninstalled immediately. And I think that's it. I think that's all the BRs I've ever played. But I'm obviously super familiar with how they work because I've like, you know, because I'm an adult on the internet. So, of course. So, anyway, I was playing with Crichton and Tanner, who has way more BR experience. And he's just a demon on the keys with FPS in general. So when we started playing, we were doing pretty shit, and then we placed 15th probably 9 times in a row. Exactly 15th, right, Tanner?
Yeah.
We got 15th place, literally.
I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Keep talking.
We got 15th place literally 3 or 4 times in a row. And then eventually, after that, I was like, okay, we need to have a team huddle here. So we had a team huddle. And I was like, listen, you fucking idiots. Here's what we're doing. We're going to drop in. We're going to get a contract. We're going to get a bunch of cash. And as soon as we have $6,000, we're immediately going to a shop, getting our custom loadouts. And then we started doing that strategy. And then we were automatically placing top 10 every game. And our best game was 3rd place. So what we would do once we got that loadout is we would just spend all of the extra money we have on getting UAVs, which are super powerful, by the way. Way better than a precision or a cluster strike, in my opinion. And then that was how we were having a ton of success. So you know, that's interesting. What do you think they will do with the loadout thing?
There's not a chance in hell they're removing it. I think they'll make it cost a lot more. Realistically, I can see them doing like 10,000. I think it should still be more, but I can see them doing 10,000. Because there's been a lot of posts about that.
Dude, my main issue with it is that it gives you perks, and that's the only way to get perks. I think that's the main reason it's so fucking strong. Is like, dude, so you have 9 perks on your team now. And if someone else hasn't done that, they have no perks, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's super crazy.
I never thought of it that way. If we were playing smart, we use streaks that all help each other.
Yeah.
Like what you'll get to here in a second with the high alert.
So Crim, I'm going to catch up on chat real quick. So by the way, if you're listening to this on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, etc., please keep in mind the podcast is streamed live at twitch.tv/Razanon. If you wanted to join in on the chat is on fucking fire right now. So if you wanted to be a part of that, make sure you follow the stream, catch the next one live. Wednesdays, Saturdays, 7 o'clock Pacific time. Everyone would run deagles, I'd think. I don't think so. First of all, there is armor, but you'd still get one deag if you got headshotted. I don't know if everyone would run deagles, though. It has a lot slower of a fire rate. There's definitely an argument to be made for other guns. I'd probably use an M19, honestly. Especially with the body armor. Like, I don't think it would be OP. But you also said you disagree with 3 perks out of the gate because everyone would just run hardline. What does hardline do, though? In 25% off kiosk prices for kill streaks. I don't think so. I think Ghost would still be super fucking strong. I think what's it called? Point Man would still be strong. I think Restock would still be really strong. I don't think everyone would run hardline. I think High Alert would still be insanely strong. So let's see here. I use the crossbow. That's a huge kappa. I'd like to have aim assist perk in Warzone. Yeah, me and you both, Laloy. Yeah, dude, if I just used a controller on a PC, I'd get the best of both worlds, but I'm not a piece of garbage. Raz, an old friend. Hell yeah, Trixie. Yeah, you can call me whatever you want, darling. They need...
Damn.
They need to add a shitload of different weapons, spawn with random attachments, and either remove the loadout option or significantly raise the price. Yeah, I don't know if adding a bunch of weapons would change it, though. Because I don't give a fuck how many weapons you put on the map. I'm still going to prefer my own loadout. Like, it doesn't matter how many M4s you throw on the ground. Because it's not going to be my M4 setup. So it's still going to be really OP to get the loadout thing. Because I can pick my exact scope, my exact thing.
Yeah.
Like, here's another thing. The only way to get a thermal sight is to pick up your loadout. And thermal sights are fucking insane in this thing, especially in a BR. When you can't see people, just use your thermal. It's like, oh, okay, well, now I see 8 kids over that hill. Like, it's super fucking strong. I put a Merc thermal on my PKM. It was so good. In addition to perks, like, it's so insane. Another fun of BRs when you outplay someone else when you have a worse weapon than theirs. Yeah, true. For sure. For sure. I think it would be interesting to add a chance for a variant of your choice to spawn and also be what the other players choose for their loadout. That's too much RNG for me. Wait, instead of the loadout drop. Interesting. That's interesting, Crim.
Yeah, that is interesting.
That is an interesting idea. So, like, if you have an M4 and, like, a Deagle as your loadout, it would just give you, like, a random M4 and a random Deagle. That's not a terrible idea. I just still think the perks thing is the most OP thing about it. Like, that's the only... Again, it's the only way to get perks, and perks are so fucking good. So, it's like... I really don't think there's a way to balance it. Unless you made it so expensive that, like, no one can use it. Which would defeat the purpose of having it, you know?
Yeah.
The loadout should be somehow rare as the airdrop. You know what else would be cool? Actually, Laloy. You know how they have the random loadouts that drop from the care packages that are communities and no one buys them? You know what I'm talking about, Tanner?
Say that again?
Do you remember when we all died, we all won our gulag, and it was very close to the end of the game, and we randomly dropped in on the community loadout crate, and we all got our custom loadouts?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if those care packages were the only way you can get your custom loadout, and they just took it out of the item shop altogether?
Or better yet, they take that out too.
I don't think so, because if the community one is the only way you can get your own loadout, then that means when that thing drops, shit's about to get hot. Hot.
True.
You know, it's going to draw a bunch of players there, and then you can keep it as OP as you want because the risk to get your own loadout, to get that OP advantage, is super high because you know everyone's going to be going for that, and you're going to have to fucking destroy everyone to get it. I think that's probably the best thing. And then just take out the loadout drop, the loadout buying option altogether.
Yeah, I think
if
that's
they did
the best
thing they could do. Yeah.
If they did it that way, they could mark it on the map. They could drop, you know, maybe 2 or 3 throughout the game. You know, say like in the second zone in, the fourth zone in, or something like that. And they have a timer to them or something, you know, to the extent where they're only up for 3 minutes, and that timer is also
it
on your
shouldn't be
HUD.
up forever. Yeah, I agree with that too. I think that would be the best thing. I'm actually convinced that's the best thing they could do, for sure. Because then you're balancing how good it is with how risky it is to actually get it. Because you know everyone's going to fucking run over there. Even if you're going to run over there to not pick it up yourself, you can just camp it with your shit guns that you've picked up and then just snipe kids off of it while they try and go for it. And then definitely mark it on the minimap. Absolutely, Krim. Absolutely. Trixie says, I don't know, I'm not into BRs. I haven't played Modern Warfare's Warzone yet, but I don't know. I think the loadouts need to go or cost way more. Yeah, for sure. I think everyone agrees with that. Thermals shouldn't be in that BR. Exactly, Slush. Welcome, by the way. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like perks, you can only get perks from the loadout. You can only get thermal sights from the loadout. And those are both insanely OP. Not to mention your exact custom class is the only way. That's like the only way to get that. Shit is so OP. Yeah, Leloy had my idea too. Exactly. Yeah, so Leloy agrees. That is exactly what I would like to see. Yeah, I think that would be the best thing they could do. It should also be marked for players. It would promote more gunfights too, for sure. It absolutely would. 1 for each time the zone closes. I think maybe 1 for every other time the zone closes.
Yeah, each is too many, I think.
I think it's too many too. But like every other time I think would be good. Because then it, like toward the end of the game, so then like everyone would have their own loadout by the end game, but that's kind of fine because like you had to earn it, you know?
Yeah.
And if you just play like a pussy and stay away from the loadout drops every single time, then what that means is if you survive for a long time because you've been playing like a pussy and not running up to those loadout drops, then everyone else has their loadout drop because they didn't play scared, and then you're severely disadvantaged. I think that's the perfect way to balance this, man. I think it's the perfect way. That's a good question, Slush. Slush asks, some perks, I'm confused on how they work in the BR, though. Because does Quick Fix start healing you when you down someone, or do you have to actually kill them? Good question. Very good question. I would assume you have to actually kill them, which defeats the purpose of Quick Fix. I would never run Quick Fix. I don't... There's so many better blue perks, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So... And yeah, Leloy, you can pick up... You just pick up their guns, basically. So yeah, Leloy. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Do we need to do the custom... Talk about the custom setups, or is that... Did we already kind of talk about that now?
No, I don't think we talked about that.
Okay.
So, what I was running last night for the best custom... So anyway, we can hope that the loadouts get taken out. But until then, listen, it's the best way to win the game. So we're going to talk about how to maximize that. So how you win the game is you drop in, you do contracts, you get money, and then you immediately buy that care package so everyone gets their loadout. So the question now becomes, what is the best loadout for Warzone? Now, what I was running was a Striker, which is an SMG that has a really long damage range as far as SMGs go, but it can still obviously do very well right up close. And then my secondary was a PKM with a 3.5 thermal hybrid. So I could use the thermal sight, which is insanely busted in BRs, to scout kids. And it has 100 rounds in the magazine, so I could easily chew through 3 people's armor and get 3 kills with 1 magazine without having to reload. And the PKM just has a lot of range and very little recoil with the right attachments anyway. So that was working really well for me last night. And then the perks I was running were... What was my blue perk, Tanner? What was your blue perk?
I don't even remember what I was running.
God damn it. What perks was I running? Fuck. I don't remember. Well, my red perk was overkill so that I could have 2 primaries. And then my yellow perk was amped so that I could switch between those 2 primaries really quickly. Overkill is red now. Idiot Crichton. Get shit on. I was using EOD, which was not necessary. Do not run EOD. I thought I was going to be dying to way more nades and shit, but it did not really serve me at all.
No, yeah, no.
So I think for blue perks, the play... I was running out of ammo kind of a lot, so I think next time I play, I'm going to run scavenger. So then I don't have to worry about picking up ammo that much.
No, that's a fucking misplay.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. That's the biggest
misplay. I was using double time. That's what I was using to try to...
Double time's pretty good. Double time is pretty good. I was also thinking cold-blooded so that thermals wouldn't be able to see me.
Yeah.
Because thermals are so OP. But the thing about that, the reason I didn't use cold-blooded is because unless all 3 of us are running cold-blooded, then it's useless. Because they're just going to see one of you and then they're going to see me. So double time, I think, is a good choice. I stand by my scavenger decision. And I'd have to take a look at everything else. I think quick fix would be good in the end game, but that's it, man. That is it. So I don't know. So red perks, I think one person should run high alert as far as red perks go.
I agree. Good
so
idea.
That one person in the squad, if they're getting targeted from behind, they can tell everyone else that, hey, someone's looking at us. Running 3 high alerts is dumb. I think one person running point man is really smart because everyone gets more money if someone has point man. I think that's really good, especially for the early game. And for getting a bunch of UAVs, like, it's always going to be good. So one person runs point man. I don't think overkill is worth running either because there's so many primaries that are just laying around. And especially if you get 1 kill, you can pick up that guy's primary and use it as your secondary. I was using overkill last night. I don't think that's the play anymore though, because there's so many guns to pick up and I can find something that's good enough as a secondary. That's like another primary, you know. Ghost can be good, but again, unless all 3 of you are running Ghost, it's useless. And I don't want to waste 3 red perks when you could have point man and like hardline. Dude, hardline is good too because you can just give all your money to the hardline kid and have him buy everything.
Yeah, you're making a lot. I didn't think about that with the Ghost. There is no point if your whole squad's not running it, and it's not worth it for everybody to run it.
Yeah, it's not.
Good
you could have one
point,
person running point man. Okay, so here's the play. One person runs point man. One person runs hardline. One person runs high alert.
Yeah.
Done.
Do it.
Keep that in mind. And then for yellows, I was running amped because I was running overkill. And because even if I wasn't, I would still be using 2 primaries. But I'm not sure that would be necessary. I don't think it is. I think tracker is what I decided on before I got off that I would start running. I think that would be good. But again, I don't think 3 people need to run tracker. I think one person runs tracker and then one person runs... Well, tune-up would be good for everyone. What other yellow perks are there, Tanner? What do you think would be good? Battle Harden is always decent, but not super necessary. I wasn't getting flashed really at all. Yeah.
Tracker, maybe?
Yeah, I think only one person needs to run tracker, though. Because they can just tell you we see footsteps and then we're good. I don't think all 3 of us would need to run it.
I agree.
So then I don't know what else the other 2 would run. But the red perk synergy is real, dude. Point man, hardline, high alert. That's a good, that's some good synergy.
We're doing that tomorrow. But before
sure.
we play, we're taking 10 minutes and figuring out all of our perk setup, whoever we're playing with.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to be running hardline because I want all the money. And I'm going to make you give it to me. So keep
fine.
that in mind.
Good to you.
And then let's see. But yeah, what about, okay, so what is list of perks Modern Warfare? Take the next bullet point, Tanner, while I look this up.
Surprisingly bug-free. Yes. Very surprising. Did we encounter any bugs at all, really?
There was the stuttering we had in one game.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah, that was probably more server issues they were having, right? I mean, I didn't come across a single bug. I'm sure there's a ton, but they're not as obvious as multiplayer was at launch, that's for sure. And everything seems pretty well balanced other than the everything we've been talking about with the loadouts.
I was amazed at how bug-free this shit was. Fucking amazed. I didn't even think about it because the game was working as intended, which is how it should be. But I was still shocked. There was one game where we were stuttering and it wasn't even for the whole game. It was just for like part of it. Like, I was amazed at how well it ran. So kudos to Infinity Ward for that. That's why they haven't fixed any bugs in multiplayer, evidently. It's because they've been fixing fucking or developing Warzone. So, excuse me, I'll take it. I'll for sure take it. So here, I'm going to pull up a list of the yellow perks for chat here. Tune-up is, so tune-up, amped, shrapnel, battle-hardened, spotter, tracker. I think one person would run tracker. One person would run spotter. So these are just intel gathering. And then maybe the third person runs, I'm not sure it matters really. Probably tune-up, so just at least one person can res a little quicker. But you could also do like 2 trackers, 1 spotter, something like that. But the yellow perks are definitely the least impactful in Warzone, in my opinion.
Yeah. Where was it? Slush did say tune-up is broken as fuck. I'm not sure if he means like it's literally trash or if it's broken as in it's really good.
He means it's broken as in it's really good. The revive time in this game by default is fast. So 25% increase, it would make it super quick. But I am curious too, because in my opinion, Slush, we were talking about this earlier, you're usually not going to revive. Like, if you don't have much time to revive, you shouldn't really be reviving anyway. Like, if you're downed and they can kill you, then they can also, like, I don't know. I'd have to try it. If it's that fast where I could do it in like a second, maybe it is good. Especially because all these yellow perks, I think one person could run tune up, but I think having a spotter and a tracker would be really good. Leloy, do you think 3-man or 4-man squad is better? I don't like 3-man squad. I like duos most just because Tanner and I only play a lot together. But if we had a third, I would really like trios. 4-man would be cool too. I think they should have a game mode for 1, 2, and 4. I think that's what they should do. I think they should take trios out. I think there should be a solos where you can only queue solo, a duos where you can only queue as a pair, or a 4s where you can queue as 1, 2, 3, or 4, and you'll get auto-filled if you don't have 4. I think that would be ideal for me.
Yeah, 3 seems like
awkward.
Yeah, I would just 1, 2. If there was 1, 2, and 4, and 3, the 3 would be the least played by far.
Yeah, yeah, and it would just dilute the player base too much. I think it would be 1, 2, and 4 because you can make an argument for all of those categories. I think 3 should be taken out. It won't be, but I think it should. You know.
Mm-hmm.
When you're getting pushed in a building and someone gets down, you can get them back up noticeably faster. It's amazing. That kind of makes sense, Slush, I guess. For if you're like in a building, for sure. For sure. Crimson says, so hear me out. The tracker, double time, high alert tracker. Yeah. That seems good. That seems good. I like all those perks. All right. So what else do we have here? So what guns were you using for your setup for Warzone? For your
I was using
loadout?
Damascus M4 because I have Damascus and HDR overkill setup with amped was my third perk, and then first perk was what did I say it was? Whatever, I don't remember what it was. Yeah, double time.
So you're not running
I don't
overkill
know
anymore.
Yeah,
So
I guess
that
I'm
in
not
mind.
anymore. I use that sniper a lot though.
Well, you can just have the sniper as your main and then just pick up an assault rifle. There's plenty.
Yeah, or there's also plenty of Car 98s laying around I can pick up. So
yeah, so we'll keep that in mind. Yeah, you'd probably pick up a sniper instead. Actually, makes sense.
Yeah, I was kind of agreeing with Slush here. I've tried Spotter and haven't found much use out of it because not many people camp like that and setting up Claymore. Yeah, see, I was thinking that too when you said Spotter.
But what if they drop like a munitions box?
Yeah, I guess.
But I guess that's the only thing, huh?
Yeah, I don't think Spotter would be the move. It's a complete waste other than that, pretty much. I mean, who's putting Claymores up, you know?
I want to try it and see how many times I get use out of it. Because it's not really to avoid the Claymore. I mean, that would help, obviously, but it would just tell me someone's here. Or someone was just here. When I see a munitions box through a building at 200 meters, you know?
Yeah.
I think mainly you would see munitions boxes, though. And I think that would be good information. Like, oh, there's a squad here. Because I just saw a munitions box pop up in this building. I think it's probably worth using, but I haven't tried it, so you might be right, Slush. You're hanging around. I don't disagree with that, Slush, but a lot of people who play Warzone should just uninstall. So, you know. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Slushies with the Twitch Prime, dude. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you. Welcome to this small, fucking humble community, brother. Hell yeah. Can I get some Razano goods in the chat, dude? Let's just keep that in mind. I need to make a note here, Tanner. Take the next one.
Krim had a tracker set up. Suppressed HDR, pretty much running cold-blooded high alert and tracker. He's calling that the tracker class. That would be good. Suppressed HDR. Yeah, I would like that. Yeah, meant to be gathering info loadout. Okay. What do we go next?
Let's see.
Pretty much done. One person should run high alert. We've discussed that.
Yeah, we've discussed that.
The last thing is the gulag.
Yeah, the last thing is the gulag. Okay. So, I like the gulag system. Tanner does not. First of all, I would like to poll chat here. Do you like the gulag system? Yes or no, chat. And while you cast your votes, Tanner, go ahead and make your argument. Why don't you like the gulag system?
Okay. So there's like 100 players. People are dying left and right. They're getting thrown in the gulag. They're in the showers. They're fighting it out. Then they just come back to life again. It's a good idea. It's different. I know most people seem to like it. I don't see the point in it. It seems completely worthless. I'd rather be dead and just watch my team fight it out and hope they get a self-revive. It just takes something out of the gameplay. I feel like it makes you not want to play as safe and as smart because you're almost like, I don't fucking care if I die. I'll just win this easy 1v1 against this shit tier player and drop right back in. And I mean, and then it's that combined with your loadout drops, like you're just playing a bigger ground war at that point. Just get me the fuck. If I'm dead, get me the fuck off that game.
Okay, so there's a couple things we should make a note of before we continue this conversation. Number one is that you can buy back your teammates. So one of the things you can buy at the kiosk is the revive. Is like the teammate revive thing. So I'll show this in the chat here. Or to the chat, rather. Wait, what? Oh, squad buyback. Yeah, so you see on the right here, it says squad buyback. My fucking thing is covering it. Sorry. Shit. Okay, let me zoom out here. Okay, there you go. So you can see now. It's $4,500 to buy back someone on your squad who's died. So even if there wasn't a gulag system, you could still bring your teammate back that way. So that's kind of an anti-gulag argument because you can still get back in the game even if you die, and there is no gulag. And also, another important thing to note about the gulag, in the late game, there have to be enemy players in the gulag for you to have someone to fight to get out. So there were times last night when there's like 6 teams left and I would die, or excuse me, I never died last night, but like Tanner would die and then he would go to the gulag and it would say no other prisoners, you're free to go. So it's just like an auto respawn.
Yeah,
and
it's just dumb.
You're just like back in, like little punishment. But Tanner is being disingenuous with his argument because the real reason he didn't like it is because he would come back in with just the pistol and we would usually die later in the game. So you come back in with your pistol, the circle's pretty small, everyone has their custom loadout, and you just immediately get fucked. So it's not like you got a second chance at all. It's just a waste of time. And that happened to us a lot. Like we would come back from the gulag and it's like, okay, dude, well, I've got my X16. These 5 teams have their Damascus M4s just trained on my body and you just have no chance. So it's just like it's a big exercise in wasting time. I did feel that. However, there was one game where we all got sent to the gulag. We all won our 1v1s. So we're all parachuting back in at the same time. And there's also one of the community random loadout care packages that gets dropped in the circle. So we're like, fuck, dude, go to the care package. It's our only chance. So we all got on it. And then from nothing, we're just a phoenix from the ashes. And we all have our full loadouts again. So we had to get lucky for that to happen, number one. And when you get your custom loadout, you're definitely still in it, but you don't have much ammo. You have 1 mag in each weapon. So it wasn't like overpowered, but you have to get super lucky for that circumstance to happen. So that was a fun game though. We did not end up winning because we all ran out of ammo. And this, again, this was like dead center of the circle. So we were just getting ass fucked from every angle and we of course died. But it was cool, man. I liked it. I don't know. I see Tanner's argument about this gulag thing, but first of all, you can only do it once. Second of all, you have to win the 1v1, which is a cool little element. And it is difficult to get back into the game, especially if it's late game, if you come back from the gulag because you have nothing. But that's your punishment for dying. So it's a nice second chance, but it's not like there's no penalty for dying. Like, oh, okay, I just respawn now. It's like, no, you respawn with no money and with just your pistol. Like, it's going to be hard to get back in the game. But I still think, I don't know, I think it's cool. So I think it's cool.
I mean, Leloy's on my side, so yeah. Leloy said, where to go? I don't even understand what the point of it is. I prefer a quick BR match more than a long one with a bunch of people respawning. The point of BR is when you lose, you're gone. Try next game, Kappa. Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Well, this BR is definitely different. My biggest grievance is with perks only coming from the loadout drops and the loadout drops being too cheap and just way too overpowered. And it's the only way to get a thermal scope. It's the only way to get perks. I just think it's too fucking strong. So anyway, let's see here. Snapshot grenades. That's interesting.
I feel like those are worthless on such a big map. I mean, maybe towards the end game, they could be really good. Actually,
end game they would be good. A lot of things are completely fucking worthless until end game, where they become insane. Like I feel like that about Cluster Strike. Like Cluster Strike is garbage until it's the last circle, then all of a sudden it's nuts. So I don't know. Anyway, all right. So anything else you wanted to go over here, Tanner?
I don't think so. Damascus, I think it should be homemade with knives only. Why do prisoners have guns in the gulag? Yeah, I agree there.
Dude, only throwing knives. Only throwing knives, dude. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It kind of ruins that immersion. Yeah.
Krim, I'm pretty sure there's a slight chance to get a thermal sight on a legendary weapon. I could be wrong. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but we don't know. The game's, it's only been out for a day. It could be super rare.
It's true that it's possible, but it's also just it's just too easy to get the custom loadouts. I think we all agree on that. So anyways, that is going to just about wrap it up for this episode. Like I said, we will be trying Plunder this weekend. So for the next pod on Saturday, we will have played Plunder by then, so we can give you guys our opinion on that. And we'll have a lot more information so we can tell you how that goes. Follow the stream if you're new here. Thank you all for watching. Chat was lit as fuck tonight, which has been for me, I very much appreciate it. If you want to find this podcast while you're listening, while you're working out or at work or something, just search for the Dropshot. Wherever you listen to podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, we're there. I also post the full episodes with video on my YouTube channel. I've linked that for you in the chat, so you can press that. You just look for the Dropshot playlist, and you can find it there. If you do use iTunes, I would very much appreciate a 5-star review, because I'm trying to quit my 9-to-5 job, and that helps with discoverability a lot. My name is Casey, also known as Razanon. So besides YouTube and Twitch, you can find me anywhere. Just search for Razanon or the Dropshot. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm on all of it. Just search for Razanon, and you can stay connected with me. And lastly, once again, please join the Discord. The episode is basically over. Go to the show notes right now. Go to the episode description right now, and join the Discord. I want suggestions in the I sound like Joe Biden. I want suggestions in the suggestion box in the Discord of how to improve the podcast. If you wanted to call into the show and have your question asked live, and we can have a conversation, and you'll be a part of one of the first few episodes of the biggest podcast in gaming in 2022, then join the call-in queue, okay? There's a call-in section in the Dropshot, in the Discord. Tell me about yourself. We'll have you call in live. It would be a lot of fun. In addition, you can find squad mates at the Discord. You can find tips, tricks, videos, guides. There's text channels. There's voice channels. There's an About Me, an FAQ, links to everything. It's all there. So join the Discord. And that is pretty much it. Tanner, anything else to add?
We want to do a call-in this Saturday. So get in there, start thinking of things now. If you come across things when you're playing Warzone the next couple of days that you want to bring up on Saturday, throw it in there, come in live. Let's do it. Let's do the call-in. Yeah, we would love that, especially on a Saturday. That would be great. We'll have a couple drinks in us, and we can get litty and answer your questions in depth. A nice little back and forth. So keep that right the fuck in mind. And then the next stream will be tomorrow. I will be streaming right here on this channel, twitch.tv/Razanon. Tanner and I will be playing some more Warzone. So if you want to run with us, tell me in the fucking Discord, because we're going to need a third. So figure it the fuck out. Join the Discord. How many times do I have to tell you? Join the Discord. So tomorrow night, Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that is it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have an excellent day, young kings. And as always, remember, stay humble.